A legend passed away this week, January 2026, she being dead yet speaketh, Claudette Colvin, the girl who sat down so justice could stand up. Long before Rosa Parks became the face of the Montgomery Bus Boycott, a 15-year-old schoolgirl named Claudette Colvin quietly ignited the first spark of resistance that would fuel the civil rights movement. It was March 2, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama. Claudette, a high school student deeply inspired by lessons on black history and constitutional rights, boarded a city bus after school. When the driver ordered her to give up her seat to a white passenger, Claudette refused. Her classmates watched in disbelief as she clutched the seat and declared, "It's my constitutional right." Police were called. They dragged her off the bus, handcuffed her, and placed her in jail, not in the juvenile section, but in an adult cell, charged with violating segregation laws, disturbing the peace, and assault. She was just 15. Claudette's defiance came 9 months before Rosa Parks' arrest, but the civil rights leaders of the time chose not to publicize her case widely. They feared the public would be less sympathetic because Claudette was young, dark-skinned, and later became pregnant out of wedlock. Still, her bravery did not fade into silence. In 1956, Claudette's act of defiance took center stage in the landmark federal case Browder versus Gale, which challenged the constitutionality of bus segregation. Claudette was one of 4 women who testified in court, and her testimony helped convince the judges to strike down segregation on public buses. That decision, later upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court, effectively ended bus segregation in Montgomery and became a cornerstone victory of the civil rights movement. Though she did not gain the same fame as Rosa Parks, Claudette Colvin's role was indispensable. Her early stand proved that even a young girl, armed with conviction and courage, could confront injustice. Afterward, Claudette faced lifelong challenges, ostracized in her community and unable to find steady work in Montgomery. In the late 1950s, she moved to New York City, where she worked as a nurse's aide for over 3 decades, quietly raising her sons and living a life of quiet service. Recognition came late, but it did come. In her later years, Claudette was honored by the U.S. Congress, the state of Alabama, and civil rights organizations. In 2021, her juvenile record from that 1955 arrest was finally expunged, symbolically clearing her name. Today, Claudette Colvin is remembered as a trailblazer who sat down so that others could stand up, a courageous young woman whose sense of justice helped change the course of American history. Her story reminds us that revolutions often begin not with a crowd, but with one brave voice saying, "No more."